Hello, welcome to my live stream. I'm going to wait a few more moments to start, but I'm going to talk about basically my life as a dancer and what I've done to train professionally. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments section and I will try my best to answer them. Hi, Alexandra. All right. So, a little bit about myself while we're waiting. I was originally born in Maracay, Venezuela, but I grew up in Long Valley, New Jersey, which is a really, really tiny town in northern New Jersey. Um, this is my second season as a studio company member at Ballet Arizona, and before that I spent a year in the PP1 level in the School of Ballet Arizona. Um, And if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments section. Yeah, there seems to be quite a bit of people joining, so I'll just go ahead and start. So again, I'm from Venezuela, but grew up in Long Valley, New Jersey. I originally got started dancing at a really, really young age, but I was the kind of child that did it all. I was in gymnastics, soccer, even basketball. I did it all, but when my mom registered me in ballet classes, I immediately fell in love. But I wasn't necessarily fond of all the discipline, and I kind of still wanted to keep exploring my options of what I should do in all my extra time. And so it was kind of off and on. I went to like 3 classes a week, and wasn't really the biggest fan, but I still enjoyed it a lot because I liked having my body moving. And so I trained locally in a studio in New Jersey for a couple of years, but my family moved to Arizona. And it wasn't until I moved to Arizona that I really, really fell in love with ballet. It was something completely different for me. I was in a new state with all new people, all new teachers. And in my school in New Jersey, it was a very strict Russian school, which wasn't necessarily good for me as a little girl because I just wanted to do whatever I wanted. I wanted to dance. I wanted to be free. And coming to Arizona, it was very different because it was a different style. I had teachers from Ballet Arizona as well as from other schools around the area. And so it was a very different experience for me. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I trained at that studio for about 5 or 6 years before I was accepted at the Orlando Ballet School. And at that time, I was 16 years old. It was a very difficult decision for me because it would mean I would have to leave my school, I would have to leave my family here in Arizona and move away. And I decided that would be the best option for me if I really wanted to continue dancing and if I wanted to be a professional ballet dancer. I really needed to get more exposure. And so at barely 16 years old, I moved away to Orlando and I spent a whole year training in Orlando from 9 a.m. until about 7 o'clock in the night every day from Monday through Saturday. And I lived on my own. I had my own apartment with a few roommates. I cooked up all by myself. I did everything for myself. And it was a very, very good learning experience and very crucial to how I am as a dancer today. Because afterwards, after my 1 year at the Orlando Ballet School, I chose to move back to Arizona and continue my training at the School of Ballet Arizona. And after spending a year by myself, I was able to become a lot more independent, and I knew how to take care of myself, and I knew a lot more things that I didn't know prior to moving away. And so it led me to have a more productive work ethic while at the School of Ballet Arizona, and moving away from home, I still had to continue my high school education. And so it made me more responsible in that as well, because I decided to pursue it online. And I had to be very, very responsible with all my schoolwork, make sure I was turning everything in on time, getting all my lessons done, and everything like that, all while maintaining a full ballet schedule at the School of Ballet Arizona. And so my daily life while I was in PP1, since I did do online school, I had the liberty of coming in to the studio every morning for the open adult class. And so I would take the open adult class and I would do my schoolwork during the day at the Ballet Arizona studios in their study room. And then when it came time for my school class in the afternoon, I was already there. I would have warmed up and I was ready for the rest of my evening. After my 1 year in PP1, I was moved up into the studio company, and that was very, very rewarding as well. I really enjoy working in the studio company at Ballet Arizona. It's a very rigorous schedule, which I feel like a lot of people may not realize because it's different everywhere you go. But for me personally at Ballet Arizona, I like to have a very strict routine. I thrive off of a very strict routine. And so I like to get to the studio at 8 a.m. every morning, and company class is not until 9 a.m. But if I get there at 8 a.m., I know I am able to have enough time to warm up thoroughly. I do Pilates exercises and lots of stretches before class. And then I know I'm well prepared for my day if I do that. And then I have my company class in the morning for about an hour and a half every morning. And then after that, we go into our day and we have rehearsals all throughout the afternoon with the company until 4:30. And on select days, we take the school class at 4:30, the PP1 class, which stands for Professional Program. And we take the PP1 class every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. This is because on Mondays and Wednesdays, we go to a special workout class that's provided by Foothills and Fast, which is a training program for all kinds of athletes. It keeps us strong. It's a full body workout, and we do that every Monday and Wednesday. And then on the other days, we take the school class to strengthen our technique and make sure we're doing well in that. We also rehearse with the school, and so some evenings we will go from 4:30 to 6 with the school class, and after 6 o'clock until about 7 or 8 o'clock we will have school rehearsals. And so most recently we were rehearsing for Coppelia, and so I would rehearse for Coppelia in the afternoon during the company hours, as well as from about 6 to 7 every evening that we had rehearsals. It's honestly a very, very difficult schedule. It's really, really important to stay healthy. That's why we have so many classes and so many workout sessions. It's so that we make sure we're really strong and healthy and ready for everything we need to do as dancers, because when you get onto stage, you need to be able to hold yourself very strongly. Being in the studio is very different from being on the stage, because in the studio you have no wings, you have no sets, you have a mirror that you can look at yourself in to make sure everything is looking nice. But when you're on the stage, you have a big, beautiful set behind you, and there's no mirror, it's just the audience. And from the stage, all you see is black in the audience. So it's very, very difficult to transition sometimes if you're not very strong. But if you're strong and doing all your classes and working hard and working out constantly and like keeping your body in shape, it's a little bit easier. There are always outside factors, like sometimes you get a little bit nervous, but as long as you're strong, you know you have something to rely on, which is very good. If anyone has any questions, again, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Ellen, PP stands for the professional program. And so in the School of Ballet Arizona, there's Professional Program 1, which is the top level of the school, and Professional Program 2, which is just below that. And Professional Program puts you on the track to having a professional career, hopefully, in your future. So as a PP1, you sometimes have the opportunity to perform in company productions. And so as a PP1, I was able to perform in lots of things. I performed in Swan Lake and Nutcracker and a bunch of other productions that season. So it was a very, very good learning experience, and it really prepared me for my time in the studio company, which you are put to learn most of the company productions, and it really keeps you on your toes learning wise. With such a rigorous schedule, how do you stay motivated? Sometimes it is difficult because you do have such long days and you get really, really tired. But you have to remember that there's always something to be working towards. And I really, really love that aspect of ballet. Every morning you can go in and say, today I want to work on my extensions, or today I want to work on my pirouettes and see if I can do more pirouettes, or I want to work on my point work today a lot more than I did yesterday. And so there's always something keeping you working, keeping you motivated. There's always this unattainable aspect of perfection in ballet, and that's a very good thing, I think, because no one is perfect. There's always something to work on, and that's something very, very motivating for me personally, because I love the aspect of having something to work towards. Are you in quarantine now because of COVID-19? Yes, I am in quarantine. I'm actually very fortunate to be with my family as well as two other dancers from the company and studio company. And so I have a lot of people around me. Um, but because I am in quarantine, it doesn't mean that I'm just all of a sudden laid off. I am actually taking company class every morning through Zoom. We're very fortunate to have our ballet mistresses and ballet masters doing this for us. We take company class every morning. It's a little bit modified because we can't necessarily do big jumps in our living rooms or kitchens. And so it's really interesting because it's very modified, but it keeps us in shape, and we do lots of strengthening exercises to make sure all our muscles and everything is still there for when we come back to the stage. Is our diet special? This actually changes based on dancer to dancer. Dancers are very, very healthy people. I personally follow a vegetarian vegan diet. I alternate based on what my body needs. And this is just something I personally like to do, and just how I was even before ballet. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of eating meaty foods, so I decided to follow a vegan vegetarian diet. Um, and so in the mornings, I'll eat sometimes eggs if I feel like I need an extra protein boost, or if I don't want to eat eggs because I'm going plant-based. There are so many plant-based products I can use in my foods, like tofu is something I really love. And for lunch, we eat lots of vegetables. Same for dinner, lots and lots of vegetables, but nothing too crazy. We eat a good amount because it's important to fuel our bodies. If we don't fuel our bodies, we can't be strong like we need to be for the stage and for rehearsals in the studio. Did you do mostly live auditions to get where you are today, or did you do video auditions? I personally really, really, really dislike video auditions. So I never really did a video audition. Um, to get to where I am today. I love attending the live auditions because I feel like you can get a feel for what the teacher likes more in class, and you can have a personal experience with the class, which I think is very important to find where you like to go. In the past, I've gone to Houston Ballet Academy, Joffrey in Chicago, Pacific Northwest Ballet, and American Ballet Theatre in New York. And for all of those, I always did live auditions. And I decided to end up attending those programs because of how I felt in the class and how I thought the teacher reacted towards me taking personal corrections, or how the teacher style in the class was. Sometimes you may think of a company like ABT, you think of that company and you're like, wow, I really, really want to attend the company. But it's kind of like attending a university. You want to visit the university first. You want to get a tour, get a good feel for the university. It's the same thing with ballet. I like to get a feel for how the teachers are at a certain place or anything like that, because I feel like it's very important to have a good feeling about where you want to attend. And so I personally like live auditions. But sometimes places are very difficult to get to, and especially with the COVID-19 situation, it was difficult to travel places this season for auditions. And so I did submit a video audition, but it was difficult because you don't get a feel for the places, and it's always nice to get a feel for where you're going to attend. Do you have a favorite of those programs? I personally really enjoyed Pacific Northwest Ballet's program. When I attended in 2018 for 5 weeks. I was in Seattle, and their program is very difficult. You have class every morning at 8 a.m. and first thing in the morning with point shoes on, and it's very difficult, but I felt like I was able to grow a lot as a dancer while I was there, because the balancing technique is a little bit different from how we are taught here in the school. It's very strictly balancing technique, while in the School of Ballet Arizona, we learn a little bit of everything. We're very well versed. And so training strictly in the balancing technique was something completely different for me. And I felt like I was able to learn so much from doing that. And I gained a lot of strength from putting point shoes on at 8 a.m. and not taking them off until 4:30. Again, though, I also attended the School of Ballet Arizona Summer Intensive, and that is another program that I just think is so great, because you start very early in the morning with your conditioning class, which gets you ready and warm for your technique class, and it's a very long day as well. I felt like the combination of me coming to Ballet Arizona Summer Intensive and then going away made me a lot stronger, and it prepared me very well for the season here. What is the thing that you like the most about Ballet Arizona? I really love Ballet Arizona. It's a balancing company, and like I said, we learn pretty much everything in the school. We're trained very differently based on the teachers we have. We learn everything, every style. But I really like that the company director is Ebe Anderson. He was one of Balanchine's muses in a lot of his choreography, and I think that's so amazing to have here in Arizona. We get the opportunity to dance lots of Balanchine ballets and just a lot of repertoire that isn't available at other companies, but this is because Ebe Anderson was originally in the cast that Balanchine had selected. And I think that's so inspiring to me. He has such a great legacy behind him. And I think it's really great to be able to learn from him and to learn from all the ballet masters and mistresses here at Ballet Arizona, because they know so much about ballet and everything that you need to do to be strong and healthy. And I love that here at Ballet Arizona. Did anyone else have any questions? Oh, what is your favorite ballet that you have performed? That's a really hard question. I've done a lot with both the School of Ballet Arizona and the main company. I think, though, I would have to say my favorite ballet that I've performed is with the School of Ballet Arizona. I was fortunate enough to dance the role of Kitri in Don Q, and that was a wonderful experience for me. We started rehearsing in January, and we didn't perform until late April, and it was a lot of work put into it, but it was also my first time dancing a full-length ballet, and it was so difficult for me. I needed to build a lot of strength, a lot of stamina, but I was able to learn so much from the experience. And the role of Kitri is just such a fun role that you can really dance on stage and have a great time with it. What is one piece of advice you would give young dancers pursuing a professional career? I think it's very important to really work hard for your dream, because recently a ballet mistress told me this, but as long as you're working hard and you really want it, no matter how hard it may seem sometimes, someone is going to notice you and your hard work. And it's so rewarding when they do notice your hard work, because you know that you deserve to be there, and you know everything you've put into it, and you're so passionate about ballet. And it's really just the most rewarding experience to be able to share your passion and everything you've worked on with a live audience. How do you care for your feet? We are in point shoes all day, so sometimes our feet are a little bad looking, I guess you could say. Um, Being in point shoes, we wear special padding around our toes, and so that special padding covers around the tops and bottoms and of your toes so that it prevents you from getting blisters. However, sometimes that does still happen, and so I like to use duct tape actually. I put duct tape around my pinky and fourth toe as well as my big toe to kind of give a little extra protection so that the friction on the shoe doesn't hurt my toes as much. Also, whenever I can, I like to take my point shoes off and kind of air out my feet, give them a little break, and massage them out, either with my hands or I like to roll my foot and my arch on a golf ball to take care of it, kind of relax the muscles a little bit. It's also really important that if you do have blisters or any sort of wound on your feet, to soak them. I like to soak them in an ice bath with Epsom salt. But it really kind of cleans all the wounds and relaxes your feet and muscles after a long, hard day, which is nice. Did anyone else have any questions? Going back to the piece of advice for young dancers, it's really important to also not be scared by a hard schedule. I know a lot of times when I've met people from other places at summer programs, they ask me about my schedule at Ballet Arizona, and they're always like, wow, that's a really hard schedule. How do you do it? Like, I wouldn't want to go there because it sounds so difficult, but I think it's so important to not be scared of a difficult schedule because it makes you so much stronger for your professional career. Being in studio company, me personally, I'm at the studio from 8 a.m. until 7 or 8 p.m. on long nights. And it's so difficult, but you get so much stronger. And by the time you are in the professional company, your schedule is much shorter, but you know you'll be able to make it through that schedule and you'll be able to make it through with strength. You won't be struggling to make it through your day, which is very important, I think, personally. You don't want to struggle through your rehearsals. You want to be able to give 100% in everything. So I think it's very important to not be scared of a rigorous schedule. Have you ever been injured? What do you specifically do for injury prevention? I have had minor injuries. I've had issues with Achilles tendonitis as well as tendonitis in my left hip. But I think it is really important to take care of yourself. Kind of going back to diet and the fast workouts that we do in studio company. Diet is very important. You need to be eating well and fueling your body, and that can prevent injury because your body is stronger, as well as working out. It's very helpful too. But if you are injured and you need a way to fix it and you're already working out and you're eating well, I think it's very important to take care of yourself. For example, with my tendonitis and my Achilles, I was always sure to ice it after a long day, and I was making sure I was stretching my ankles and rolling out efficiently all the time just to make sure that everything was well within my body. Also with hips, it's really important to stretch your hip flexors and just do everything needed. Also here at Ballet Arizona, we're very fortunate to have access to physical therapy through Foothills Physical Therapy, and there's a very good physical therapist. His name is Itamar Stern, who works directly with the company. And so there have been times where if I really feel like I need assistance, I will go to Mr. Itamar and he will help me. He'll give me exercises that I need to do or stretches or something that I need to do in order to make sure that my body is in order and to help me prevent future injuries. What are some ways you let yourself relax and take time for self-care? There are a lot of ways to do this. Everyone has their own personal ways. I really enjoy reading. Right now I'm reading a few books actually. I just ordered a bunch from Amazon because we are in quarantine and we have a lot of extra time. So I really enjoy reading. I also have a small puppy, and he really helps me relax. He loves snuggling and loves being played with. So when I play with him, he always helps me take my mind off of anything that can be stressing me out, or even just a good meditation session, I think, is always good. If I know I have a particularly rough day ahead of me, I always like to take like 10 minutes in the morning to myself to just meditate, clear my mind, and kind of give myself little affirmations of, I can do this, I can make it through the day, and it helps me relax and take care of myself. Also, a lot of people like Netflix or doing other things like that, so I think that's very good too. Is your puppy available for a cameo? He unfortunately is not. He's currently downstairs and outside. But if you go to the School of Ballet Arizona's Instagram page, they actually posted a photo of him a few days ago. His name is Woody. He's very cute. I love him very much. So you'll be able to see him on the School of Ballet Arizona's Instagram page. Any more questions for me? I just want to recap again. If you have any questions about the School of Ballet Arizona or the company itself, you are more than welcome to ask me. I feel like the studio company at Ballet Arizona works very, very hard. It's a difficult program, but again, it's so rewarding. We do so many outreach programs, and we perform a lot with the company as well as on our own. And I think it's a very, very good learning experience for anyone, really. If you audition and you get accepted into the studio company, I think it's an excellent, excellent experience. You train so much, but we also learn how to take care of ourselves very well. And I think it's very important to learn from a difficult schedule to be successful in your professional career. And it's just so important to have an experience like this, I believe. Do you have a favorite dancer at Ballet Arizona? I love all the dancers at Ballet Arizona. Everyone is so kind and sweet and so accepting of the studio company and how we work with them. Personally, I really, really enjoy watching all of the principal dancers. I love watching Jill Burrell. She's beautiful on stage, and she has a lovely presence in rehearsal as well as on stage. And I just really, really enjoy watching her as well as the rest of the principals and the whole company really at Ballet Arizona. Everyone works so hard to do what we do, and it's so inspiring for me to be able to take class with them every day and watch how everyone works and then later see the final product on stage. What is your favorite ballet show? Personally, I'm a big fan of the Macmillan ballets. They're not very commonly done in the United States, but my favorite ballet of his is the Romeo and Juliet that he has. The Royal Ballet in London does it a lot, and they have many recordings for sale or on YouTube. And a lot of the bigger companies in the United States have done it as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful ballet. I love the musicality of it, and the dancers that I've personally witnessed dance it have been so inspiring to me and allow me to be able to channel some of their energy in my dancing every day. And so that's my personal favorite ballet. Seneca asks, how do you survive in point shoes all day? For those of you who don't know, Seneca is Sasha Vincett's daughter. She's in the company. Sasha is in the company. How do you survive in point shoes all day? It's very difficult, Seneca, but you build up a lot of strength, and so you just have to push through, use the strength you have in your feet, and really take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, it's going to be a lot harder to make it through the day. But as long as you're taking care of yourself, you're strong and healthy, it's becomes easier, and it's also so worth it to know that you're working hard in your point shoes to put on something beautiful on stage. Um, oh, yeah. Any other questions? Oh, I missed a question up here from Juan Ho. How did you combine studies and ballet classes? So when I moved away from home at 16, I was still in high school. I was attending Arizona School for the Arts originally, but moving away from home, I was no longer able to. So I transferred to an online school, and I was able to complete my schooling from home or wherever I was on my laptop. And it was definitely a difficult experience, especially at first. I didn't necessarily know how to manage my workload of classes and my ballet workload. But eventually I found myself a schedule, and I was able to stick to it and complete all my classes. Um, then when I moved back to Arizona, I still continued the online school just because I felt like I didn't want to keep switching back and forth from public traditional school, online school based on my schedule. So I stuck with the online school, and it became more difficult for me, especially as my workload grew. I was in AP classes and honors classes, and so it was very difficult. But I was able to push through, find a schedule for myself, and at the end of the year, I graduated, and it was very rewarding. Um, but you have to find a schedule that works for you if you are currently studying online and also studying ballet, because I believe that having an educational career is just as important as your ballet career. You want to be a smart dancer. You don't want to later go back and realize, oh, I missed out so much in school because I was too focused on one thing, or I missed out too much in ballet because I was too focused in school. So, well, you can never be too focused in school. You have to be focused on both if you want to do both. So I had to find a good balance for myself to be able to complete everything. And it was very good. I still graduated high school on time, but I first had to find my personal schedule. How do you take care of yourself? I make sure I'm eating healthy. I make sure I'm working out to keep my body strong. Um, it's also important to relax every now and then, so I do that. I like to read books. I like to play with my puppy, and really just anything that you feel like doing to relax your body. It's always something different. Sometimes you meditate, sometimes you read, but whichever way you need to unwind, I think it's very important to unwind from all the work you are doing so that you can go back with a clear, focused mind the next morning that you start with your day. What online school program did you use? I used Connections Academy, Arizona. Um, Even though I was living in Orlando, I was still able to use the Arizona program, except my classes were all on a different time zone. But it's okay because you can access your classes 24 hours a day, and it still worked well for me. Um, what performance are you most excited for in the 2021 season? I personally am really, really excited for Giselle. It's a very dramatic ballet, but it's so beautiful, incredibly beautiful. And also, we performed it in the school my first season as a PP1 student. And in that performance, I was able to perform one of the leading roles as Peasant Paw. And so that was really good learning experience for me. But now doing it with the company, I feel like I'll be able to learn so much more watching the other dancers, the older dancers, take on those principal and soloist roles. And it'll be such a great learning experience, all while watching the beautiful ballet that I really enjoy. Who is someone you admire in the ballet world, and why? I really admire all the dancers here at Ballet Arizona. And outside of Ballet Arizona, a very famous dancer is Marianela Nunez from the Royal Ballet. She is absolutely stunning. She won an award for being one of the best principal dancers in the world right now. She's really, really great. There's lots of videos of her available online, and she has a strong social media presence. And she's been a huge inspiration for me following my ballet career. She's beautiful on stage and off, and so I really, really love her and watching her dance. What is your plan for next season? So after spending a year in the school and 2 years as a studio company member, next year I will be joining the company as a trainee, and I'm very, very excited about that. I feel like it's going to be so rewarding and such a great learning experience, and I'm so excited to start back after this quarantine season is over. Seneca asks again, how tired do you get in a day? Some days are more tiring than others. I feel like days that are very long with rehearsals are very, very tiring. Some days I just want to go home, take a nap, but it's okay because I know that I can push through because I have had great training from the school and I am strong enough to make it through the day. Other days can be a breeze depending on the rehearsal schedule. Again, like I said, some days we have very short 45-minute rehearsals. Other days we have rehearsals straight through for 3 hours with no break. On those days, I make sure that I have eaten a good breakfast and that I am fueling my body throughout the day. I'll always have snacks with me, whether it be a trail mix or a banana or something like that, to make sure I'm still fueled during my time in rehearsal. And so that kind of helps a little bit. But there are days where you just want to go home, take a nap, you're so tired, but your motivation keeps you pushing through. Oh, see, I'm making sure if I missed any questions. I think. Oh, are you excited for Nutcracker? Yes, I am really excited for Nutcracker. Nutcracker is something we do every year, but there's always something new to look forward to. Sometimes we have different people in the cast, or sometimes you get to perform different roles. And so this past season was really special for me because it was my first time performing as a Harlequin doll, which was something very different for me. So I got to work on something new. Usually I only perform in Snow and Flowers, but this year I had something new to focus on. Also in Snow and Flowers, sometimes you get shifted to a different spot in the corps de ballet. And so you have to really focus and learn the new spot so you don't get confused with prior year's spots. Or sometimes you have new people in the cast, like there's always new studio company members coming in to the program and get put to dance Nutcracker as well. And so you have to maintain focus and really you have something new to look forward to, working with new people, working on new roles. It's very special every year. Thank you, Yelena, Colleen, and Alexandra. I'm very excited. Um, do you eat snacks during the day? Yes, I try to snack during the day to make sure my body is fueled. I'll usually have a banana with me or some trail mix or something. Or if I do have a longer break for lunch, I will make sure I eat some fruits and veggies, keep my body fueled for the rest of the rehearsal day. Thank you, Siomata. What age did you start dancing? I started dancing when I was in preschool, not seriously with ballet, but I was put in dance classes just to keep me putting my energy somewhere other than just being like, mom, mom, mom. And so I started dancing at a young age, but I did everything as a child. So I was kind of in and out of dance classes and in and out of ballet. But it wasn't until I moved to Arizona with my family at age 11 that I really started focusing on just ballet. That was what I wanted to do, and I started pursuing it more seriously. And I stayed local for about 5 years until I moved away from home to continue pursuing ballet. What is your favorite snack? That's a hard question. I think a banana is the best snack. I think after class, you have an hour and a half class in the morning and you have a 15-minute break before going into all your rehearsals. And so I feel like eating a banana after class keeps me fueled and cramp free and everything until the next time I'm able to have a lunch break or another snack break. What do you like other than ballet? Um, that's a hard question. Ballet is such a big part of my life, but I do enjoy reading a lot and working out. I love going on bike rides, so I think that also is really beneficial for ballet. I also like art a lot. It's been nice during time to be able to explore more art if during this quarantine, but during normal ballet hours, I don't really have a lot of time to explore that part of myself. I also really, really enjoy writing. It's been a while since I've been able to write anything, but during this time, I am able to explore more thoughts and more things to write about, which is really cool. How often does your family go to see you dancing? My family is very fortunate to live here, so they come to see pretty much every show they can. They've seen me in Nutcracker every year, all the school productions. It's very, very nice for them to live very close and to come be able to see me perform. In the future, would you like to teach ballet to future generations? I would really, really love the idea of teaching to future generations. I have had a small taste of teaching some Horton adult ballet classes. Actually, I have substituted for Mr. Clayton a few times, and it's been so great teaching all the adult students. But I would really love in the future to be able to teach younger girls and pass on information to them about what I've learned in ballet and to try and teach them about the ballet world and how it is. Sometimes you get teachers at studios that can push you down a little bit, but I really want to be able to pass on inspiration to future generations of dancers and hopefully be able to pass on to them a good training curriculum that they'll be able to use in their future. So I would really, really enjoy to teach students in the future. Any other questions? Atsunari asks, are you going to be a scary teacher if you're going to be a teacher? I don't want to be a scary teacher. I want to be able to pass on good information to my students. I never want anyone to be scared of me. If anything, I want them to be able to feel like they can approach me with any questions. I know I have always really enjoyed teachers that are very strict, but I still feel like I can approach them with any questions about corrections or anything that I need help with. All the ballet mistresses and masters here at Ballet Arizona are very good about that. They're very strict with what they want and they know what they want. But I still feel like if I have a question about a correction they gave me, I can go up to them and ask them about it and ask them for help. And I think that would be the kind of teacher I would want to be for students if I ever had them. Hi, Sarah. What has been your favorite role you've danced, and what do you hope someday to perform? Um, my favorite role so far that I've danced has been Kitri in Don Quixote. That was so, so incredible for me. I really learned a lot from it, and it was so, so fun to dance. I also was able to watch a lot of videos online and find inspiration from really famous dancers that have danced the role before, and that was so special for me. I watched a lot of videos of Cynthia Harvey and just many greats in ballet that have performed the role before, and I was able to learn so much from them as well as teachers at Ballet Arizona. And we also had the privilege of having Olga Evanroff from the Royal Ballet come coach us in the roles for a week while we were rehearsing, and that was so incredible. The whole experience was just amazing for me, and I really, really enjoyed it. Um, Someday I would hope to perform the role of Juliet. Like I said earlier, it's my favorite ballet, and I love the music by Prokofiev that is used in the ballet, and I just would really, really love the opportunity to perform that role someday. Do you think that family is important support for young dancers? I do think that family has a lot to do with how you are as a dancer and how confident you feel as a dancer, especially when you're young or growing up in the ballet world. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of discipline surrounding it. But having a good support system from your family is so important for me. My family was always so supportive of me doing ballet, and they really helped me whether I was having a rough day or I had something great that I wanted to tell them, something great that happened in class. They were always so happy for me and always pushing me to be my best, as well as always pushing me to explore other options. It's important to have ballet as your main career choice, but if your family also pushes you to have other options, I feel like it makes you stronger in ballet, as well as having a backup plan in case you aren't able to follow a career in ballet in the future. You never know what's going to happen, and so if you happen to not have a career in ballet in the future, you still have your strong support system from your family telling you it's okay, you tried your best, but here you have so many other backup plans that you can do. You can go to school, you can do a bunch of other things. But for me personally, my family has been a strong, strong support system, and I really, really am appreciative for it because it has helped me so much on hard days. You feel like you just can't do it anymore. They remind you, oh, you've worked so hard for this. It's just a rough day. It's not rough forever. So it's been really, really special. Do you wear point shoes the whole day? Most days, yes. You put your point shoes on for center in class and you're in them for however long you're rehearsing. Sometimes you do get to rehearse ballets that are not in point shoes. Recently, we were rehearsing for Slaughter on 10th Avenue, a ballet by George Balanchine, but it's done in character heels and it's very, very jazzy. And so that was fun to be able to switch out of your point shoes and to dance in something else and a different style for a little bit. Alongside with that, I do also believe it is really important to train in other styles. By attending other summer programs throughout the years, was also able to take jazz classes and Broadway classes, Horton classes. I believe it all helps you be a stronger dancer in the long run. So it is helpful and useful for a ballet dancer to take off your point shoes every now and then and study something else. It helps you strengthen so much in ballet. I know for me personally, Horton was very, very difficult. All the lateral positions you need to make with your body, it takes a lot of strength, but it is very important. It made me so much stronger as a ballet dancer to take these classes, and it helped me be able to channel a different side of myself when we do have to rehearse ballets that are a little more contemporary or a little looser with their movement quality. So it is very, very helpful to take other classes in order to be stronger as a dancer. Any last questions? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions I wasn't able to get to, I really, really encourage you to reach out to your teachers, your mentors in ballet. Um, it's so important to have a good relationship with them. They teach you every day. They know how you move as a dancer, everything about you, and they're always so helpful. At least have been in my past. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to them. Also, if you are looking for a school, I've mentioned a lot about the School of Ballet Arizona and their summer intensive as their studio company. It's such a great program. You learn so much from all the teachers. You have excellent training. So if you are looking for a school, please consider the School of Ballet Arizona. Thank you so, so much for your time. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Bye.